Ask yourself this. How long can you go without checking your phone? An hour? 10 minutes? Or does the thought itself make you a little restless? Today, instant gratification isn't just a habit, it's a dependency. Here's a fact. The average person checks their phone every 12 minutes. Not because we need to, but because we crave that tiny hit of dopamine. We live in an age where everything's faster. Food, messaging, cars, and as everything speeds up, we are more impatient, more dissatisfied, and more anxious than ever. Instant gratification promised us comfort, but what it never told us is that it's costing us growth. So here's the real question. Why does the easy choice win so often, even when we know better? You can't see instant gratification in theory, but you can see it in everyday moments. You can feel it in everyday moments. For me, whenever I sit to study, I find myself watching an irrelevant video the next minute. And when my phone isn't a distraction, I'll convince myself my study table needs cleaning. And I'll wonder, why am I like this? See, our minds almost always crave the easier choice because of the dopamine spikes we get after scrolling, texting, or seeing the number of likes on our Instagram post. Over time, when our brain gets fast dopamine repeatedly, it rewires itself. Why work hard when I can get dopamine instantly for zero effort? Between all of this, we don't realize what we lose out on. And that's the magic of instant gratification. It doesn't feel dangerous at first, but it silently steals our time, our hope, and our energy. So we try to push back with motivation. We all must have seen those reels about how Michael Phelps swam for every day of the year for 6 years, or David Goggins running 7 miles on his light day. They all tell us one thing: work harder, have bigger goals, and stay motivated. And I've been there too, writing 2 whole essays just after watching the movie Rocky, only to crash the next day. And that's when I realized what the problem was. I was relying too much on motivation. See, motivation fades. Most people confuse motivation as fuel to drive them to their goals. But in reality, motivation is just the spark. So we rely on motivation instead of building systems. We let instant gratification win in the moments that truly decide our future, and we give our brain instant rewards and expect long-term discipline. So, is this all just a lost battle that we are fighting? No. And the solution is surprisingly small. Micro persistence. Micro persistence is delaying gratification in the moment, but only by a little. It's doing the smallest possible action in the moment. Taking one more step, doing one more push-up, reading one more paragraph before closing your book. They're all examples of micro persistence. You might wonder, how can something this small beat something as addictive as instant gratification? See, instant gratification happens in a matter of seconds. But when you wait before giving in to a temptation, the urge loses power and the logical brain wakes up, allowing you to make a more rational decision. Micro persistence buys you just enough time for you to make that more rational decision. Over time, repeated micro persistence builds discipline without you even noticing. While writing this talk, I faced every distraction in the world. My phone, procrastination, my friends, and a ton of excuses. So I made a tiny deal with myself. Write just one more paragraph, no matter how terrible it was. See, that's what I realized. When you repeat micro persistence, you build discipline without even noticing, and that was a turning point for me. Eventually, these tiny moments of persistence became my whole script. Another important realization that I made was that micro persistence doesn't just help you resist temptation, but it also helps you keep going when you don't feel like it. That's where I use a strategy I like to call gear down. Gear down is simply another form of micro persistence. Instead of stopping when things are overwhelming, you simply reduce the level of work. For example, when I can't write any more essays, I switch to reading sample ones. When I can't study actively, I switch to just reviewing my notes. Observe how I'm not quitting entirely, I'm only reducing the intensity, but never the direction. That helps me keep momentum alive and build discipline. And trust me, these small wins add up far more than people realize. Remember, micro persistence won't change your entire life overnight, but it will change the next minute. The next minute will shape your day, and the days shape your future. This isn't just about studying or working out, but it's about winning in those small moments where we usually lose and how they affect the person we become. Every time you choose instant gratification, you're paying with your future. However, every time you delay gratification, you invest in your future. Micro persistence is just compounding interest. Tiny decisions that grow into a life you're proud of.